皆さん、こんにちは。今日はタイを勉強します。タイ is used to describe your hope or aspiration and used as I want to do in English. The structure is a verb in its stem form plus タイです。Just to make sure you remember, the stem form of a verb is the same as that of must form, the part before must.A verb plus タイ conjugates as an い adjective. So non-past affirmative is verb タイです。And the non-past negative form is verb たくないです。As I said, you conjugate the same way as い adjective, so drop the last い and add くないです。You should know the rest of the conjugation, but let's go over them quickly.The past tense of たいです is たかったです and the past negative is たくなかったです Check the translation. You can also use another variation for the negative forms. Instead of たくないです you can use たくありません for non-past and たくありませんでした for past. And just so you know,The short form of たいです works the same way as い adjectives too. Let's look at some examples. To say, I want to see a film this weekend, you say, 今度の週末は映画を見たいです。You can also say, 映画が見たいです。A verb that usually takes the direct object marker, を can have either が or お when it's followed by たい. Particles other than お remain the same as in the next example. But before we see it, say 今度の週末は映画を見たいです。今度の週末は映画が見たいです。中国に行きたいです。Do you see that the particle に marking the goal of the movement is not changed? Repeat after me. 中国に行きたいです。Let's see some examples with negative and past tense. あの人には会いたくないです。Say, あの人には会いたくないです。お弁当が買いたかったからコンビニに行きました。Say, お弁当が買いたかったからコンビニに行きました。If you wish is one you have entertained for some time, that is, if you have wanted to, you can use たいと思っています。留学したいと思っています。Say, 留学したいと思っています。Let me give you some complimentary information. In English, you can say things like, you might want to throw that away, or do you want to have some coffee? They actually are suggestion or request and invitation, respectively. You can't say, あなたはそれを捨てたいです or コーヒーを飲みたいですか to convey the same messages because たいです can only be used to express wishes and desires. たいです sentences are used to express the speaker's wishes and desires and not the ones held by others. Somebody else's wishes are usually reported whether as quotations, observations, or guesses.So if you want to say that somebody other than you wants to do something, you can use たいと言っていました。And to describe your observation to the effect that somebody wants to do something, you must use a special verb たがっています instead of たいです。Here are some examples. メアリーさんはチベットに行きたいと言っていました。 Mary said she wanted to go to Tibet. Say, メアリーさんはチベットに行きたいと言っていました。メアリーさんは着物を着たがっています。It seems Mary wants to wear a kimono. Say, メアリーさんは着物を着たがっています。One thing you must note is that if the verb takes the particle を in たがっています sentence, it has to remain as を unlike たい with which you had a choice between を and が。Check the structure for たがっています。Short forms here. Here's the overview of some of the important information you learned. Please make sure you remember these points and be able to use them correctly. さあ、練習しましょう。First, let's practice expressing your own desires. Say them out loud after the tone. 1番, I'm so tired. I want to rest. How do you say that?休みたいです。2番 I want to work in Japan. Say the whole sentence. 日本で働きたいです。3番 I don't want to drink water. 水を or 水が飲みたくないです。Let's try expressing what you wanted to do in the past. How do you say, I wanted to own a cat when I was in high school? 高校の時、猫を or 猫が飼いたかったです。How about, I didn't want to go to the art museum when I was in high school. 高校の時、美術館に行きたくなかったです。Now let's practice a couple sentences to express your observation of what Mary wants or doesn't want to do. 1番 She wants to study abroad in Japan. Say the whole sentence. メアリーさんは日本に留学したがっています。2番 She doesn't want to learn 漢字。メアリーさんは漢字を習いたがっていません。Great job! If you feel you didn't do well in the practice, make sure to go back and review.
今日はたりたりするを勉強しましょう。皆さん、これはもう勉強しましたね。大阪で買い物をして晩ご飯を食べます。わかりますね？ Like you just saw, you already know the form of verb て verb to connect two clauses. This form suggests that the two are the only activities that you do.Also, it implies that you do the two activities in the order of verb 1 and then verb 2. If you want to avoid such implications, let's use たりたりする. With this, you can imply that those two activities are just examples of activities among more. Also, it suggests that these activities will be or are done in no set order.As far as the structure goes, you have verb たり, verb たりする. The verb for activities must be in the past tense short form. For example, 食べる will be 食べた and 飲む becomes 飲んだ。It translates as do such things as A and B. Make sure that it contains more activities than the two behind the word. Don't forget the する at the end. You must have this. And this is where you see the tense of the whole sentence or other helping verb part. For example, you'll have verb たり verb たりします in polite speech. Verb たり verb たりしました if you did the activities in the past. Other than that, you can have any helping verbs such as しましょう、したいです、してはいけません。Use verb たり verb たりするつもりです if you are planning to do the activities in the future. I listed another example. Verb たり verb たりすると思います too. Let's see some examples. 大阪で買い物をしたり晩ご飯を食べたりします。Do you see that した and 食べた are in the past short form? Also, did you feel the implication that there are more activities? Alright. In Osaka, I will do such things as shopping and eating dinner. Repeat after me. 大阪で買い物をしたり晩ご飯を食べたりします。Let's see another one. 週末は勉強したり友達と話したりしました。I studied and talked with friends, among other things, over the weekend. Repeat after me. 週末は勉強したり友達と話したりしました。Let's see one more example. 踊ったり、音楽を聴いたりするのが好きです。Yes, you can add things like のが好きです as well. I like dancing, listening to music, and so forth. Repeat after me. 踊ったり、音楽を聴いたりするのが好きです。Okay, I think you're ready for practice. Look at the pictures and give me a たりたりします sentence. Ready? 1番明日、テレビを見たり、本を読んだりします。2番明日、ビールを飲んだり、洗濯したりします。3番明日、掃除したり、音楽を聴いたりします。Did you get them all? 素晴らしい。Today, we're going to learn ことがある。ことがある expresses the idea that there was a time when someone or something was in some state or did something. A similar situation is expressed in English by sentences such as I have or she has done something, or I have had the experience of doing something. This is the structure.A verb in past tense short form is used before ことがある。Yes, verbs in past tense short form. Remember that? 見る the past tense short form is 見た for affirmative and 見なかった for negative. 行く is 行った for affirmative and 行かなかった for negative. If you just went I don't remember how to do that. Then you need to go back to Lesson 9 Grammar 1 and review. Do that now and come back when you're ready. Okay, now that you're good with past tense short forms, we can start making sentences using the new grammar. Let's say you want to say you've climbed Mount Fuji. 富士山に登ったことがあります。Repeat after me. 富士山に登ったことがあります。Here is an example of how you can express your lack of experience, something you've never done. 授業を休んだことがありません。I've never been absent from classes. Repeat after me. 授業を休んだことがありません。Simply add か at the end if you want to ask a question about someone's experience. To answer, はい、あります is the shortest appropriate answer. You can also include the verb part and say, はい、登ったことがあります。But you can never say, はい、ことがあります。So be careful. Yes, I have, or Yes, I have climbed Mount Fuji. To say, No, I haven't, you say, いいえ、ありません。or いいえ、登ったことがありません。and never いいえ、ことがありません。さあ、練習しましょう。I will say the sentence with the verb in the dictionary form. Change it so you are asking the question, Have you had the experience of? 1番、日本へ行く。日本へ行ったことがありますか？ Also, how do you answer if you have? はい、あります。2番、納豆を食べる。納豆を食べたことがありますか？ How do you answer no? いいえ、ありません。3番、嘘をつく。嘘をついたことがありますか？ Yes, I admit I have. はい、あります。4番、友達と喧嘩する。友達と喧嘩したことがありますか？ No, never. いいえ、ありません。Great job! Please go back and review as you need.
今日は noun や noun を勉強しましょう。In Lesson 11, Grammar 2, you learned this. 大阪で買い物をしたり、晩ご飯を食べたりします。Yes, that たりたりする grammar, where you have two activities in a sentence, but you also imply that you have more activities behind the word. Today's grammar point has the same idea.Before talking about today's grammar point though, I want you to remember this as well. 私は日本語と英語を話します。Like this, you learned how to connect two nouns. So, today's grammar point, noun や noun also connects two nouns. And the things or the nouns referred to in the sentence are just examples.And you imply there are more. Let's see the structure. You have noun, や noun. As you can tell, you cannot use verbs or adjectives with や. It translates to noun and noun, for example. Let's see some examples. I went to a lot of places, including Kyoto and Nara, but you don't have to list them all. 京都や奈良に行きました。Repeat after me. 京都や奈良に行きました。練習しましょう。I have a sentence with a blank here. Use noun や noun and the cues to fill in the blank. Say the whole sentence after the tone. 1番私は中国やオーストラリアに行きます。2番私は湖や川で泳ぎます。3番私はキャンプやドライブが好きです。Good job!